Marriage customs in Nigeria, Part 2. In this video, you're going to be learning about the Igbo traditional wedding. In the Igbo culture, there are traditional steps that couples must complete to be considered married in Igbo land. Even if this couple are already engaged in a civil wedding, they must complete these steps in the Igbo culture. These steps are different from one culture to another, or from one village to another, but yet they are similar in nature. There are certain similarities between what you have in one village and what you have in another village, and the parents and elder members of the two families play a very vital role in the processes. The first step is what is known as Ikwakanozo in Igbo land. That is the first introduction, knocking on the door. Here, the groom visits the bride's family and informs them that he wants to marry their daughter, and he would want to bring his family to meet with them. They will set a date, and on the agreed date, both families are going to meet. The groom will come with his family members, with his parents, his uncles. They will accompany him to the bride's family, and they will go along with some alcoholic drinks and a keg of palm wine to the bride's family. When they arrive, the bride's family will welcome them and present them with kola nuts. In Igbo land, when you are presented with kola nuts, it means you are welcome. The groom's father will tell the bride's family what the son wants. He will make known his son's intent to them. Then the bride's father will accept and then tell them that he will get back to them. The groom's family will not expect an answer immediately, but then the families will sit, have some discussions, have drinks and eat before they leave. Once they leave, the bride's family will call the bride and talk to her about the visitors who came earlier and ask her what her decision is. The bride would usually say yes, and when that is done, they move on to the second stage, the family background investigation, which is called Ijo Ajuju. That is asking questions. Here, both families will want to learn about each family. The bride's family will want to know more about the groom's family, and the groom's family would also want to know more about the bride's family. So both families will do their investigations separately, most times without the bride knowing that anything like that is going on. The bride's family will start the investigation after that first introduction of the groom and his family. Now, the essence of this investigation is to help the families to find out the location of the village where they come from, the character of the family, their standing in the society, religious practices, the health information. They just want to know everything about the family to be sure that their children will be safe going into that union. When that is done, they move on to the third step. That is the follow-up visit to go and get the bridal list. This happens after the investigations have been done, and then the families are happy with what they found out. Then they will proceed. That is when they go to visit the bride's family, and the bride's family will give them a list. Now, the list contains items that the groom will have to bring to the bride's family on the day of the traditional marriage. That's the wine carrying ceremony. Now, let's take a look at some things that are usually found in the list. Now, the bridal list includes items that will go to the bride's parents and the community. The umunna, that is the men, the umada, the women, and then you have the umu youth. Those are the young adults in the community. You have items such as tubers of yam, bags of rice, alcoholic drinks and soft drinks, cash drinks, stockfish, salt, a bag of salt, walking stick for the father, George wrappers, a whole lot. Take a look at the picture. If you take a look at the picture, you can see some of the things I've mentioned already. They are there already in the picture, and then take a look at the second one. You will also see some of the things I mentioned there. So this list is given to them to go and get all of these things, and they need this to present all of these items to the family of the bride before they can proceed. The step 4 is the bride price negotiation. The bride price is a specified amount of money that the bride's parents ask the groom to pay. This is for asking for their daughter's hand in marriage. This happens before the traditional wedding ceremony. The both families will have to negotiate the amount of money that they are going to pay. The traditional wedding ceremony is the 5th step. Now in Igbo culture, the traditional wedding is called Ịgba nkwụ nwanyị. It is a wine carrying ceremony, and it's a very important part of the process, where the bride carries the wine from her father and goes to look for her groom. In some Igbo cultures, the traditional wedding ceremony is more important than the civil wedding or even the religious wedding, because they see these other weddings as being more Western in style. Now, when the couples have completed their traditional marriage ceremony, they may decide to have a civil wedding or a church or religious wedding for legal reasons with the government, or they may decide not to do so. Let's look at some notable things that you see on an Ịgba nkwụ day. Look at the pictures. You can see some beautiful ladies all dressed in the same attire. The bride's unmarried girlfriends and female family members make up her bridal train. That is what you see there, the bridal train. They will all dress in matching outfits and accompany the bride in processions all through the ceremony. Something else that is very notable on the Ịgba nkwụ day is the arrival of the groom and his family. You can take a look at the picture and see that happening. The celebration begins once the groom arrives with his family and his friends at the bride's family home. Celebration opens with a prayer. The bride's family presents the groom's family with kola nuts and drinks, and some speeches are made by both families, and then the bride comes out to greet the guests. When the bride comes out, she comes out with music and dancing, and then she comes out with her bridal train, popularly known as the Ashebi ladies. They come out to greet their guests. And then she goes back inside. The next one is the wine carrying. The groom usually sits somewhere hidden, and the bride will have to change to a new outfit to say welcome to the groom's family. She dances out, comes out with her Ashebi ladies, and then goes towards her father, kneels before her father. Her father is going to remind her of why they are there. He is going to tell her about the groom's intent. If she is ready to proceed, the father will give her the palm wine. She's going to take the palm wine and start looking for the man who she wants to get married to. When she finds him, she will kneel down before him, drink a little from the palm wine, and then give the rest to the man to drink. When that has been done, the bride gets up with the groom, takes him to her father, and they both kneel before her father and they get their blessings. Her father will bless them and offer them words of advice. After the blessings, the couple will rise up to the music and they will dance, joined by their family members.
Downfall of a man is not the end of his life.
Whisper something. And when he got to the meaning there's something he whispers to me.
Don't worry. Cheer up.
So as I bless you all today, as I bless you, I bless you all. Daddy. The scripture, we learn from the scripture that the essence of marriage is not only for childbearing or companionship, but to expand the image of God in history. That is to say, you raise children that will represent the image of God in history. So I wish you will have male children, you have female children. You have children that will take care of you at old age, and you raise that will be good children. This I ask in Jesus'
The end of the traditional marriage day. The bride will leave her parents' home and she will go back home with her husband to his family house with all her luggages packed. In Igbo land, this is the step 6, Idu Ulo. In Igbo land, there is a culture called Idu Ulo. Now, this is where the bride's family will shower her with gifts to start her new life. She's going to receive gifts like cooking utensils, beddings, sewing machines, plates, pots, new house. But the gifts a bride receives on this day depends on what the bride's family can afford. Bride's parents can decide to present the gifts to their child immediately after the traditional wedding ceremony, or some persons wait on the day of the religious wedding. They go with all of that and present the gifts to their daughter. Step 7. The bride's family will have to go and visit to know where their daughter lives. That is called Ematolodi. Weeks after the wedding, the bride's family will visit their daughter's new home. It's an Igbo practice where they would want to know where their daughter is so that in case of an emergency, they'll be able to reach their daughter, and also to confirm that she is happy and that she is being taken care of in her new home. What a beautiful culture. The Igbo traditional wedding has been awesome. Stay tuned for Marriage Customs Part 3. That brings us to the end of this video, Marriage Customs Part 2. Thanks to these sites for providing us with all the information we needed for this video.